Just me and a bowl of the most sugary cereal on Earth. Nothing could possibly ruin this moment. Timmy! Ah!
Hey there, it's me, the Cartoon Geek, with a review of honestly of not only Fairly Odd Parents, but one of the worst cartoons. I'm of course talking about the abomination upon animation that is Fairy Con Parents. Now, as I'm sure you know, many people seem to despise parents, including myself. I mean, what's not to hate? The fact that Chloe Carmichael exists is just enough to put this season down the drain. But a viewer under the sun has talked about this episode. I thought I would review it by giving different reasons as to why this episode is bad than other reviewers. Now, normally most reviewers don't like to jump straight into a review, we like to subtly bring you into the plot and the story, so that doesn't seem to jump. Season 10 just doesn't allow me to do that.
Alone at last. Just me and a bowl of the most sugary cereal on Earth. Nothing could possibly ruin this moment. Timmy! Ah!
Like, seriously, I never thought I'd have to start off a review with such intensity, with like having to talk so much about just a few seconds to be done, I guess. So let's talk about Fairy Con, and more specifically the episode that most people will compare this episode with, CosmoCon. Now, CosmoCon is a good episode that revolves around having a convention in Timmy's bathroom, kind of like Fairly Odd Baby, where the baby shower is in Timmy's bathroom. And Timmy tries to hide the convention from his parents and Mr. Crocker, who was there to try and catch his fairies. The subtlety of that episode was planned to infiltrate Timmy's house to get his fairies. He uses his status as a teacher to get the trust of Timmy's parents so that he can hunt for fairies. But, unfortunately, around season 8, the writing quality took a dramatic drop. So by season 10, all that subtlety is completely thrown out the window. It's gone, and doesn't pick up anywhere within season 10. And that subtlety that I'm talking about is instead replaced with a lot of shouting, onto the power of 1,000. Oh, and did I mention horrible?
Hey, Chloe, you excited about your first fairy?
Like, seriously, I know this is only the first minute, but this is just really, really ridiculous. I mean, they think professional animation, that was so obviously right there. It's not like no one saw that. Someone had to have seen that. And if they did see that, and they didn't fix it on purpose, that just goes to show you how lazy they are. Because honestly, there's no way you can miss that.
I got my headshot in the FairyCon brochure!
You're facing the wrong way, Cosmo.
Exactly! It's in keeping with the theme of my panel. Worst fairy godparent ever! I have a reputation to live down to, Timmy!
So we learned that Cosmo has a panel at FairyCon for being quote-unquote the worst fairy godparent ever, which... okay, there's being behind the pack and there's not even getting off the starting line. So, Jorgen, you're telling me that Cosmo is considered to be the worst fairy godparent in existence, yet somehow he's still good enough to be a fairy godparent? That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
Hi, Timmy. Hi, Chloe. Hi, weird kids with wings. Time to fix the fridge. And by fix it, I mean weld it shut and drag it down the street behind my car.
What do I say about this? This is so insulting to the lore of Fairly Odd Parents that I almost don't feel like talking about it. But for the sake of the review, I guess I have to anyway. Okay, so let me talk about the episode in which Timmy's parents find out about his fairies before Jorgen erases their memory. In that episode, the reason they find out is because they see Timmy's fairies and Timmy has to get happening. So when you have Mr. Turner looking at these fairies, no, talking to those fairies for a good 2 seconds, and not asking the question, hey, who are these kids and why are they floating? Why do they have these wands? Why do they have crowns floating on top of their heads? You're pretty much You're pretty much just slapping me in the face, right?
Oh, I forgot an important step. First, I had to beat it vigorously with a baseball bat.
And this bit. It just shows you that whoever wrote this episode doesn't understand the fact that you actually need someone to have a good reason to do something to create comedy. You can't just have someone do something that is so out of character, even when it's in their character, and use the excuse, oh, they're dumb, it's in their character, so it's fine. It doesn't work like that. Just because a character is not the quickest to the punch, they can't just do it with the excuse that they're dumb and that it's acceptable. That's not how you do dumb humor. And again with the animation errors. That window was already broken in the first shot. Like, okay, I get it. Cartoons can have animation errors. I think, well, almost every cartoon has animation errors. But if they are so blatantly obvious, and if they could be so easily fixed that you wonder why they didn't see it and why they didn't fix it, it just takes the entire experience.
This is the most exciting day of my life, girlfriend! And who better to share it with than my cross-eyed hairless cat? Anywho, if I'm gonna sneak into FairyCon, I'm gonna need to get me some fake fairies!
Ah, silly me. I almost forgot. Crocker now just becomes a broken record about fairies. Now granted, his character was always centered around them, but that part of him was always subtle, and he wasn't only obsessed with that wasn't his only character trait. He had an overbearing mother who he had to live with. He was a cranky teacher who loved to mess with his students. Oh, and he didn't yell every time he fairies. I don't have much to say about these henchmen, they're just there because we need something to drive the plot.
Bonita Juanita, I camped out all night waiting for you. I even pitched a tent. Keeping with the camping theme, I long to toast my marshmallows of passion over the fire of our love.
I find this next bit really triggering, because Juandissimo doesn't deserve any purpose to the story other than for quick jokes that don't land. Because, once again, with Mr. Crocker, all the subtlety is gone. Now he's just an obsessive ex when he used to be so much more. He used to be the godparent of Remy Buxom, one of the few characters who many people think could have been a good replacement for Chloe. And speaking of which, why isn't Remy even mentioned in this episode when Juandissimo was in the episode? Like, this was a real missed opportunity for whoever was writing this episode. So anyway, more crap happens and Crocker sends his henchmen to grab Chloe's ticket for him. But wait, if you've established that every and fairy god kid needs a ticket to enter, how can Mr. with only one ticket take himself and his two-end convention? Like, did anyone even proofread this? I feel like they just didn't even proofread this. They just didn't care enough to check what they were working on. Anyway, even more crap happens, and we see that Chloe is sad because she just realized that her ticket is and now she can't get in. To be honest, I don't really see this as a big... To be honest, it would have been better if Chloe had just not even considered going to the convention and this so it didn't even happen.
Chloe Carmichael, any normal person would give up right now. But you are not normal! Time to sing the Never Quit song! Never quit, never quit, even when the hard times hit. Always fight and do not submit!
This is not what I wanted to see. Butch, Nickelodeon, whoever made this episode, this is not what people see in the show. No one wanted to see a perfect Mary Sue character singing a Never Quit song. We wanted to see an average kid who no one understands in a good story with good jokes. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to make a good story, okay?
Even when everything goes to Mr. Crocker!
Wow, that totally isn't suspicious at all, right? The fact that the camera was focused right at Crocker, and the fact that a blimp was flying right over Chloe for her to see at exactly the right time, that's definitely Ex Machina at all. So Mr. Pucker crashes the Cosmo panel, and because this is a modern Fairly Odd Parents episode, they need to lose their wands. So how do they lose it this time, you ask? Well, apparently everyone gave their wands to Cosmo, and he hit them in a floorboard, and they get sucked through the vent.
I got this! I collected everyone's wands before the panel, so we'd all be defenseless! Worst fairy godparent ever!
Yeah, I don't even care anymore. So Chloe saves the day. Gosh, did I really just say that Chloe saves the day? It should be Timmy who saves the day. This show is about Timmy Turner. When did this show become about Chloe? When? It should not be about Chloe. It should not be about a perfect Mary Sue character who shouldn't even be in the show. It should be about this boy. This boy right here, okay? So, as I said, Chloe saves the day, and Jorgen decides to extend Fairy Con because Chloe is somehow scary to Jorgen. Ugh, I don't even care. I don't even care. That was Fairy Con. Well, you could obviously tell that I didn't enjoy this episode. I think the animation is slow. None of the jokes hit for me. The B story with Juandissimo is boring and serves no purpose to the actual story. And the fact that Timmy had to take a backseat to one of Mary Sue characters in existence just makes me so disappointed that a show of such a high caliber in the beginning had to go out like this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I'll make more reviews in future depending on how I feel. And who knows what else I might make.